And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are live in the Race2Play Formula 1 Pro Series British Grand Prix from the new Silverstone 2011 circuit layout. My name is Lynn Kinchlow. Welcome back. This is the race broadcast for the purposes of getting it all onto YouTube and not have Twitch TV screw it up and totally break it. We are currently in the warm-up session for this event. It is now time to go to the breakdown of the race. I believe it is a full 300-kilometer race distance. I forgot to check the number of laps, but it will correct myself shortly. Actually, let me take a look at the circuit and see what's there. Race length, 52 laps. There we go. Just have to look at the race settings tab under Race2Play. Formation lap will be delayed in the... Thank you, Tristan. There is a formation lap, so we'll get time to do the run through the field. Right, Alling does a nice little burnout through this front. Race start time, 1 p.m. And of course, everybody's having a little fun in chat before the race. So 18 cars set to go for this event. Good field turnout in comparison to the last round at Singapore.
Attention grid, all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
So here we are. This is the grid. Whee! Flyby camera for the win. Okay, I forget which button I push to. There is a specific button I have to push to get into... Oh well. I'll figure it out in a little bit. So here we are, formation lap. Let's quickly run through the field. Oh, I was already on the right camera. On the pole for this event is Tristan Bayliss. Starting in row 1. Beside him on that row is Tim Brook in a Vodafone McLaren. Ryan Walker in the Red Bull starts row 2. Alongside of him will be Mark Johnson in Petrolhead's car. Row 3, the first of the Arunu cars, Chris Hack, will be starting alongside Andre Martins in a Marlboro McLaren. Just behind Chris on row 4. I lost count of my rows there. Steve Taylor is his teammate, also at Arunu. Anthony James is alongside Steve in a John Player Special Lotus. There's a couple of those floating around, so we're going to have to be careful about who we call out on stuff. Mark Dowling in a Williams Renault. Camel sponsorship. Starts row 5 alongside Darren Adams, the Apex Predator car. Looking to get as many points as he can for this event, but we'll see. Sergio Casanova starts first of the Q1ers. And I'm already noticing a glitch with the grid here, guys. Apparently the TV car has been stuck into the 15th place. That is not right. So people are going to get robbed of some spots. So anyways, we'll try to figure this out. David Carney, 13th. Jose Casanova's 14th. Brian Farley, I think, is 15th. Cantagallo, 17th in a Ferrari. Nuno Arias in a Renault. And last, but certainly not least, George Pole. He'll make his way through the grid. we await the start, i.e. the cars getting their way through to the grid. Probably get one more fly through before the session starts. Nice little neat formation. There's going to be a hole on the grid. Pay no attention to that. That is the TV car stealing some grid spots. Waiting on this last car to sneak in. Hello. There are the lights. 2, 3, 4, and away we go! Ooh. Clean start. No penalties on the grid. A lot of cars making contact through the... Oh, there's that button I wanted to push. Whoa, cars flying wide everywhere. Look out for the speed bumps. Cars... Wow. What happened there? So I finally find the button to hold the camera into one spot, and apparently I missed all the action. Oh well. Cars taking it wide. Whoa! Cars everywhere. Anthony James, I think, got the worst end of it. He's got all kinds of damage. We'll have to check the start replay momentarily, but meanwhile, Tristan Bayless is under immense pressure from Tim Brook. Down to the old straight, side by side. But Tim Brook has to yield. Does the crossover move to the inside. Still cannot get the pass made. That lets Mark Johnson get right up there. Kevin Ransom out with significant suspension damage. I would imagine we are going to have to take a look at the replay momentarily. Let's actually take a look at it right. Let's actually space-time rewind it. So here's the replay of the start. We're going to watch it on board from Anthony James' view. Whoa, just a lot of cars getting involved. Wow, airborne. Went Anthony. And how did Kevin go out? We know what happened to Anthony James and what happened to Kevin Ransom. Speed this up. Figure this out. Is that car doing a wheelie? I think Kevin Ransom hit one of those invisible bumps that he was complaining about earlier in the session, and it just flat took him out. It just doing a nice little wheelie, and Formula 1 cars aren't supposed to do wheelies. Unless, of course, your name is Mark Webber, in which case you can actually do it. So here we go, quick top 10 rundown. Tristan Bayless, Tim Brook, Mark Johnson, Ryan Walker, Chris Hack, Darren Adams, David Carney, Mark Dowling, Steve Taylor, and Brian Farley. Whoa! Mark Johnson losing a couple of positions there. All sorts of sideways. Right now, best spot on the track for a fight. Well, everybody's all kind of single file, so... Oh, here we go. David Carney side by side with Mark Dowling has to yield the position up. Does the crossover move attempt? Somebody locked up in front of him, but in the meantime, that position's pretty much locked down. Walker currently in third place. He's going to face a challenge from Chris Hack momentarily. Now we get a nice little train of 4 cars going. And somebody's lit the board up. Let's see if anybody drops spectacularly. Oh, Jose DNFs. That's what I was looking at. Meanwhile, Chris Hack trying to chase Ryan Walker down, but now Chris Hack is the one that's holding up the show. We'll have to take a look momentarily and see what happened to Jose. But in the meantime, Hack's going to try to catch Ryan Walker before getting caught up by Johnson and Darren. Darren picking up 4 spots off since the start. Very impressive run. And meanwhile, Tristan Bayless, as usual, is already launched out to a 1-second lead. Okay, I believe it's only about a minute, so let's take a look. Oh, he just gets... What did I say? He just got all up on the curbs and around to it. Into the gravel pit. And got stuck. Did he blow the motor? Oh, he stalled it. He stalled it, doesn't use the clutch. George pulls 17 seconds back. Right now, best spot on the truck for a fight is between this, the Brian Farley-Cantagallo battle. Gallo attempts to get into the slipstream of Brian Farley, but isn't in a position to do anything. And Chris Hack side by side with Darren Adams. 5th on the track. Darren quickly making work of Chris Hack for the position. Darren knows what he needs to do to close the gap on his absent teammate Hines. He's got to go out there and win the race this week and win next week, and he will be the championship leader. Right now, already on the rear gearbox of Mark Johnson. Yeah, but he runs a little bit wide off the corner and doesn't actually lose much time. And Darren has 5 spots gained off the grid. Mark Allen gets 2. Found himself a nice little gap to run in. You know, while Brian Farley still having to fend off Cantagallo as he catches David Carney for the position. Ooh, David Carney lagged a little bit right there. You notice he suddenly just sort of warped from one place to another? Yep, that's a sure sign of lag. And it seems David Carney's got a little bit of lag. Let's take a look, see how much lag David Carney's got. Well, 105 ping, it's kind of decent. Actually, Cantagallo, 167 ping at the moment in relation to... I wanted to say it's us. Meanwhile, Farley tries to get a nose under there, but can't quite do it. Ooh, Johnson crash hard! He has done a number to that machine, and he is out. Flat out lost it. Take a look at it in replay. This is a minute back in time. Really close right there to Darren Adams' machine. We're just watching this. Johnson wins the game. Wanted to say it's within the Maggots-Beckett's section. That seems to be a pretty popular place to run off the road. Probably right about here. Trying to figure out which camera would be best for this. Oh, he just flat loses it. Gets a little bit of grass and pow! Goes the rear suspension. Back alive. Darren Adams currently charging his way through the field. In his gun sights at the moment is Ryan Walker. Been able to hold off the challenger so far, but Darren is a very, very quick, consistent driver. And I think eventually he will get this position, but we'll see. Still very early on in this event. We get 4 cars in a row here. A couple of lap traffic. The outside that looks like to be Sergio Casanovas. Field. Still a lot of cars, one quickly going out. 3 cars already out of the race. And a lot of people gaining positions because of it. Gallo running his quick lap of the race just most recently. Meanwhile, we have a 3-car train for 2nd place. Actually, make that 5. Chris Hack has joined the fight. We have Tim Brook, Ryan Walker, Darren Adams, Chris Hack, all battling for the 2nd position on the racetrack. Meanwhile, Tristan Bayless way out there in 4.1 second land. A little bit of defensive driving from Ryan Walker, trying to keep Darren Adams behind him. Going to be a very difficult adventure. Down the long hanger straight, I think it is. Darren right there. Goes right on the curbs to the inside. So he's going to be on the outside for this next section and has to get the position up. Ooh, a little bit of lockup from Tim Brook up front. Now on to the front stretch. Another good passing opportunity coming up. Right to the inside, but can't quite get there. Oosh. Has to back out of it. A little lockup from him. No! Ryan loses it a little bit in the corner, and Darren is able to sneak by for the 3rd position. But Ryan tries to get back, but he's on the curbs. That's not going to work. Now move Darren Adams up to the 3rd position on track because of that little scuffle. Tim Brooks has been able to pull away a little bit. So right now, this is the best spot on the track for a battle. Right now, this is the 3rd, 4th, 5th battle. Tim Brooks manages to pull himself out of the fight for the time being. I don't see a whole lot going on at the moment besides outside of this, so we'll hang on with this. Darren, a little bit of a lockup. Well, Chris Hack just had his fastest lap of the race. Personal best, minute 35.207. Let's take a look back here. See what's going on. Chris Carney is currently in 8th, and Ryan Farley was rather close to him in the timing standings. Or the time standings, I should say. Seem to be maintaining a pretty consistent gap. Meanwhile, back up front, Ryan Walker still 4th position. Trying to regain that lost ground he's given up to Darren Adams. So far, so good. Seems Mark Dowling's found himself a nice little gap. He's in between a couple of groups. He's currently running in 6th position, so having a nice run so far in the early going. We're already 1/5 of the way through this race, so time is flying. As are these cars, although not literally. So now the question that's starting to cross my mind is Darren Adams sets fast lap of the race. Minute 34.761, very quick early going. It's with a 52-lap race and a fairly average track, I would say. A lot of high-speed corners, which allows the tires to cool down. Wanted to see when about the first pit stops are going to be made. I'm thinking everybody's going to either be on mediums or hards. Let's just change the position back here. George Bunko slide in the corner. Yeah, I wanted to think George Paul went sideways somewhere. Anyways. Probably wanted to figure that the first pit stops will be coming up in about, I want to say, the next 20 to 30 laps. Well, not next 30, because that would be 40 laps on the tire run. Good grief. I'll say, let's say the window's going to be about 25 to 30. That'll be right about halfway. That'll be a nice, even balance. I'll say everybody can do it in one stop for the most part. Looking around. There's just not a whole lot of action at the moment. Everybody's pretty much single file, keeping a decent gap in between each other so they don't overheat. So we'll have to wait and see when the pit stops occur to see when the gaps are made. Cantagallo up to 10th. Doing pretty good for, I believe this is his first start in the event, or in the series. Steve Taylor's out ahead of him at 9th. Somebody's lit the board up somewhere. Just went sideways. Somebody went to the pits, I think. It sounded like it might have been my car. Interesting. Fifth for his personal best. Nah, Darren Adams is right there. He's right there. Chris Hack sits fastest lap of the race. Minute 34.674. What is Tristan Bayless at the moment is doing minute 34.8 in the minute 35 region. So obviously Tristan Bayless has set a big gap ahead of him and is now just coasting. Let's actually take a look at Tristan and see how he's doing at the moment. Take a listen, see if he's... Nope, Tristan's doing full rev, so he hasn't made the same mistake twice as he did in Montreal. I'm gonna give him a hard time for that one. In the meantime, Woo! Ryan Walker locked it up a little bit. Lets Chris Hack get right up to him. Right up the top here and brakes. For the carousel, as I personally call it. Well, looking around, I mean, still not a whole lot of action to bring at the moment. Right now, somebody's lit the board up somewhere. Anthony James still plugging away in 15th. Victim of the first lap crash. I think it was Mark Dowling that might have spun. Let's take a look at it in replay. We're a minute behind, so we got to speed things up. Hurry up, we want to get to the juicy bits. Yep. Oh, and he dings the rear end just a little bit. Whoa, Tristan Bayless. All of a sudden being scored 5th. Oh, yeah, that's because he just made his pit stop. That would be the reason why. And Darren Adams has managed to take over. Wow, a lot of action happening all of a sudden. I say there's not a whole lot of action, all of a sudden cars are everywhere. What happened? Is that where am I at? Let's take a look in replay. Tim Brook is in front. This was 4-second, I believe. Darren wasn't able to make a pass. Stick. But he gets him right there, and then Tim Brook, I believe, makes a pit stop right here. I just... Oh, right, this is the old place. Never mind. I think it is, anyway. Oh, ran wide! And then that's what caused Tim Brook to lose time. So in the meantime, Darren Adams is leading this race. But then promptly gives it up and goes to the pits. So... look at me, I am not a pit analysis. Lap 15 is, lap 13, 14, 15 is where we're getting our first stop, so looking like maybe people are on mediums and just can't balance them, or maybe they just went to the softs to keep the speed up. But either way, Darren Adams in and out. Cycling in behind Tim Brook and Tristan Bayless. Although Tim Brook did spin. So that cycles Ryan Walker to the lead. So now we'll wait on him and see when he decides to make his pit stop. Chris Hack is behind him in second position. So, quick rundown of the top 5. Ryan Walker's leading. Second is Chris Hack. Tristan Bayless has cycled into the 3rd position for the time being. Tim Brook, having a spin earlier, is 4th, and then Darren Adams has come back out on track in the 5th position. So basically, in this cycle of pit stops, we are waiting on Ryan Walker and Chris Hack to make their stops so they cycle back into the line. And then that would probably put Tristan back in, since he's only about 5 seconds back and closing rapidly. You can actually see that little flash of orange there. There he is. So right now, it would be a little bit hazardous to your health to stay out there for very much longer. But there they go. They're going out there. And Tim Brook has decided to come to the pits. And pulls into his slot now. And pay no attention to the pit lane indicator. That's messed up. 3-second pit stop. Pretty decent time, I would say. Up, 4 tires, down, and away you go. So he's going to slot in 5th behind Baron Adams. That sounds as to be about right, considering the self-spin. But meanwhile, Tristan Bayless is right there. Could be looking to get a couple of free positions and cycle his way around the hard way. But I get the feeling these two will be in the pits momentarily to get a fresh set of tires. As we can see, fresh rubber somewhat superior to old. Looking through the field, nobody really in a position to make a stop right now. Tristan Bayless goes a little bit wide in the corner. Pit entrance is to the left on our screen, but they don't go for it. So we could be seeing a differing set of strategies. Looks like Tristan Bayless, Darren Adams, and all of the rest could be on 2-stop strategies, and these guys may very well be on 1-stops. Looks like Steve Taylor has run off the tracketh and knocketh the front winged off. That's a lot of oof there. Mark Dowling in the pits. And we've got to see, but and Steve Taylor's out. Steve Taylor has thrown in the towel. Another 2.9 second stop for Mark Dowling. Tristan Bayless has actually got it around Chris Hack on track. So, waiting on first and third place cars to come into pits. I would imagine that Steve Taylor might, after that, when he gets cooled down, might want to come visit in the booth. So if the graphics overlay suddenly goes wonky, that would be me trying to drag Steve in. So just a heads up for y'all. That's what happens is whatever R factor is not the active window, the Java powered R factor Dyn HUD tends to go away. That's why it's occasionally will blink out, is because I'm trying to do stuff outside of the game. So a little technical information for you. In the meantime, Tristan right there on the rear gearbox. Pulls to the inside and makes it stick like a pro. Going with the carousel. So now Tristan Bayless has managed to cycle his way around to the lead the hard way, and now we have to simply wait and see what exactly do Ryan Palmer and Chris Hack have in mind for this pit strategy. Sure looking to be a case of just sitting out there as long as they can. George Pole in and out of the pits. And actually, I think... No, George had a self-spin earlier. I believe that's what it was. There was a couple of Lotus cars that were involved in that turn 1, lap 1 melee. So in the meantime, still waiting on these guys to come in. So let's do the math real quick. If folks that are on 2-stop strategy, they came in around lap 14. You divide that out in the head. That's roughly about 2 pit stops. At least that's what I'm getting for a holdover. let's go ahead and do a quick rundown of the field as it sits now. Or actually, yellow light is on somewhere. I don't know who tripped it, but in the meantime, Tristan Bayless leads the field. 1.1 seconds back is Ryan Walker, so the gap is quickly increasing. But then Chris Hack in third place is charging through the field. Darren Adams currently in fourth place is really loud. In comparison to Tim Brook, who is currently in the fifth position. Andre Martins is sixth and... Wait a minute, was there some switch position right up here that I didn't notice? I saw the names flash around, and that usually indicates somebody swapped positions. In the meantime, Andre Martins is sixth, Mark Dowling seventh, David Carney in the eighth position, about 47 seconds behind. Alternatively, Cantagallo is 1 minute back. In ninth, and George Pole's last points paying position. He's in 10th. Pretty close to going a lap down, I would say momentarily. Or at least in a little while. There are 4 cars, 1 lap down. In the meantime, Brian Farley is in 11th. Sergio Casanovas is 12th. Nuno Arias in the pits at the moment. For extended service, it sounded like. And then Anthony James, I should say, is in 14th. 4 cars out of the race for various bits of suspension accident damage. Steve Taylor, Mark Johnson, Jose Casanovas, and Kevin Ransom. A lot of good cars out of this event pretty early on. 20 laps are complete of this 52-lap main event. Whoa! Ryan Walker dives to the pits. And is the first of folks to make their one only stop, I would think. In and out. 5 seconds. So that cycles Chris Hack into second place. Darren Adams back to third. This time the gap is not really increasing all that much. Tristan Bayless has been running minute 33s pretty consistently, but Chris Hack has actually been in the minute 34, so the gap will be increasing, I think, soon. Darren Adams just recently only popped off at a minute 33.832 just last lap. Chris, you don't use the animated arms. I'm sad. Chris Hack's last lap was a minute 34.532 in comparison to Tristan Bayless, who ran a minute 33.833. So the gap is going to be increasing between first and second. And now Darren Adams just ran a minute 34.151, so he's closing slowly on the Chris Hack machine. Albeit slowly but surely, still a long way to go through this race. 22 laps are complete. And somebody's lit the board up and unlit it. Actually, oh, Nuno Arias has gone out with what appears to be significant damage all around that machine. So let's take a look quickly in replay. We are a minute back in time. So we'll speed it up a little bit and see what happens. 45. Just ran wide. Ooh! Let's look at that one more time. Goes wide. Tries to correct and just flat takes out his rear wheel. That is not good. And so that's how Nino Arias ends his race. And Chris Hack back on the pit road? No, Chris Hack just is in for his first stop, it looks like. Up. And down 3.4 seconds. So obviously the one-stop strategy is resulting in slightly longer stops. That cycles him around to 4th on track. Although Tim Brook is closing quickly. So now the cycle is complete. Darren Adams has cycled into 2nd place on track. If I recall correctly, 2nd place pays about 18 to 20 points. So Darren Adams could also conceivably finish 2nd both races, both today and in 2 weeks, and be able to still take the points lead. Right now, 10 cars still exactly on the lead lap. Last guy on the lead lap is George Pole. Last lap just actually ran as fast as a couple of laps ago, minute 36 flat. In comparison to Tristan Bayless, who's got minute 33s going. Minute 33 and change, actually. George Pole about a minute 19 behind. We'll say in about 5 laps he'll be caught. Far off cameras at this point in the track. I'll have to look at this later on. Right now, best spot on the track for our fight is right here! Mark Dowling dives to the inside of Andre Martins, takes the position down the hanger straight. Andre gets the crossover attempt, goes to the outside, and probably goes to the pits. And Tristan Bayless has crashed. What happened here? And Tristan is stuck. He's stuck. And popping it over, gives it a one more goose. He's almost there, come on, come on. Oh, it died. Tristan Bayless out. Let's take a look at it in replay. Oh, he just flat lost it, right? Gooses it. Yeah, he just flat oversteered it. And didn't get really a whole lot of damage, but then he got stuck in the gravel, and this is deep stuff right here. You get caught in the least bit, and you are basically done for. So a very disappointing result for Tristan Bayless, unfortunately. Things like that happen, and you would expect with the track at like Silverstone, where it's pretty far out, where the walls are spread out, you would be able to get around, but unfortunately that sand pit is pretty deep and pretty soggy, I would imagine. That cycles Darren Adams to the lead, gaining 9 positions since the start. So now the race is in his hands. Pretty much. It's his race to lose now. "24 laps are complete in this event. Just past the halfway... Well, actually, not quite the halfway point. Lap 26 is the halfway point. We're almost halfway. How about that? 9 cars remain on the lead lap. George Pole still hanging out there in 9th position. That actually promotes Brian Farley to 10th for the last point on the grid. Walker passes the lap car. Ryan Farley. Farley? I'm not sure. If I have been mispronouncing your name, sir, I apologize. Chris Hack trying to catch up to Brian Walker for the second position on track. Last lap was a minute 33.925, so a very quick run. Changed 2 positions since the start, so he started 5th. Right now, the best battle is right here with Walker Hack. They've spread out a little bit. Gets as much of the gap close as he can, goes to the inside. Not quite close enough there. He's going to stay as close as he can through this section and try to get a run on it going into turn 1 and 2. So very momentum sensitive. Right there to the rear gearbox, to the inside, makes it stick. Chris Hack to the second position. Brian Walker is going to try to come back and get him back. We have the straight, I think it is. Can't quite get it done. It's a multi-apex corner right here. The carousel is going to try to stay as close as he can. No. And yellow light has lit up again. What's going on this time? Okay, wait. Didn't see any significant changes on track. Somebody went squirrely right there. Right now, besides this fight, the best... Well, let's put this in. This was... Looked to be about a second, but now I look at it, it's actually kind of a big gap. Anyways, never mind. Back to this. Ryan Walker looks to be diving to the outside. Can't quite get there and has to yield the line. It's Chris Hack. That shot works. It's a pretty cool camera shot when it works. Tim Brook has actually worked his way up to the 4th position. And he's looking to join the fight. Started 2nd. He's lost. He wants these positions back. Last lap was a minute 34. Comparison to Chris Hack was running 34.9s and Walker 35 last lap. whoa, what's going on here? Andre Martins and looks like David Carney got into a little fracas. Not sure what happened there. Let's take a look at it in replay momentarily. Let's check up here. Nothing. Let's see. David Carney was in front. Since they're both the same car, let's turn on these icons here. And let's speed it up. Let's square ways back. David Carney's been consistently running 36s, just ran a 35.4 time, personal best. Andre Martins dives to the inside, actually went out of bounds right there. Wonder if he was aware, and then, oh, they touch. Got all on the curbs and went about their separate ways. I'm a little bit wary of that pass. That seemed to be a bit OB. Diving to the inside of the white line. Race2Play regulations. The marked course. Let's use Chris Hack as an example. See the white line on the right? That is one of the boundaries. The white line on the left you just crossed over on the curbs is the other boundary. You cannot have 4 tires off to the inside line of the track. Maybe, judging by the contact at the end of the corner, that could be a racing. That could just be deemed a racing incident in the long run, but not really sure how that would play out. I am not a steward, so. But I did say at Holiday Inn Express last night. No. Why did I do that joke? I did. Anyways. So basically back to Andre Martins. Right now, 6th place. 1 minute back of Darren Adams, who's left a consistent gap in between most of the group. Last lap for Andre Martins was a minute 34.082. Quick lap was a 33.927. So pretty consistent times. Darren Adams just reset his personal best, a minute 33.368. Mark Dowling, I haven't talked about him too much. He's in the top 5 at the moment and doing pretty good. Right now he's in a little time zone all to himself, which is a good thing, I would say. Judging by all the craziness that's happened this week, I would say being on track by yourself is a good thing. So now looking within the next 10 laps or so for the second set of pit stops for the leaders. Currently, Ryan Walker has a rearview mirror full of Anthony James, who is 2 laps down. So obviously Ryan Walker has just lapped him again and is setting sail. Cars have managed to sort themselves out from the initial chaos of the opening laps, and now proceed onward. Let's take a look at the speak, see if anybody's awake and wants to chat. Seems everybody's all doing their own things. Let's see, let's count the Gallo in the moment. Currently at 8. He's gonna have a rear view rear full of Darren Adams at the moment. He's a minute 31 behind, so basically he's 2 seconds away from going 1 lap down. Here's an interesting side. Ferrari is about to get swallowed up by a Apex Predator car like that. Easy, no harm, no foul. Going to the closing stages of this race. Currently, I see about 7 cars on the lead lap. Got Darren Adams in the lead. Chris Hack second. Ryan Walker third. Just set his personal best time. Tim Brook is in fourth. And Mark Dowling is fifth. Andre Martin sixth. David Carney, last car on the lead lap, in seventh. I see. Darren Adams has crashed. What in the world? No, you don't want to spike the RPMs there, Darren. You just want to be nice and gentle. Pop the clutch. And I wanted to say this is not gonna work. So close, so close, so close. Don't blow, don't blow. Oh, it blew up. Disaster. Disaster for Darren Adams. Oh my goodness. How did that happen? Take a look at it in replay. Oh, he just ran off of the curb. Pow! And then he got into the gravel trap. He would have been fine if he backed up. He would have been perfectly fine if he backed up, but it would have been a slightly unsafe entry, but I think I would rather take an unsafe entry rather than risk getting caught in the gravel trap, because it's a bit iffy trying to get into the gravel trap, so we're going to have a unique winner for this week. Both Darren Adams and Tristan Bayless have gone out to self-spins, just getting too hard up on the curbs and just flat losing it. So Darren Adams is going to collect 0, zip, zilch, nada. So the top 3 is going to be basically unchanged except for 2 DNFs in the end column. Very unfortunate turn of events for both of those guys. But that means Chris Hack is all of a sudden in a fight for the race win. He is 2.2 seconds ahead of the new second place Ryan Walker. Both of them noticing Darren Adams has left the game. They know that they are in the catbird seat. They will be fighting for a race win here today. So a very, very shocking result coming out of Silverstone today, and it is not even raining. Good grief, what do you think would have happened if R Factor 1 was capable of rain? I can't wait for R Factor 2, I don't know about y'all. I need to save some money, get myself a lifetime license so I don't have to worry about paying monthly fees. Anyways. So, let's take a look at that top 6 right now. Chris Hack leading Chris Hack lasted a minute 33.568 in comparison. Ryan Walker with a minute 33.349, a personal best. So that gap is closing, and then Tim Brook is 20 seconds back. If anything happens to the two guys in front, which could very well happen, judging by the way this track has been running, Tim Brook could be in a position to win it. Currently, he's on the podium. Last lap was a minute 44.435. Did he just come out of the pits? Mark Dowling's 4th, and I thought I heard somebody else in the gravel trap. I was freaking out there. Andre Martin's 5th place, 53 seconds back. David Carney, 1 minute adrift, followed behind by Cantagallo, George Pole in the pits. Hanging on there for dear life, just went 1 lap down, so now there's just 7 cars again on the lead lap. He's up, he's down, he's wait. Okay, slight boot for that machine. RF900, wonderful piece of software. Has a few issues, but hey, I'll live with them. Ryan Farley 9th, and Sergio Casanovas is... that's what I thought. Somebody else was in the gravel trap. He's going to use second gear, which is a different tactic. And he's so close. And he's out. With a very smoky motor. Oh, he's not out. It died. Sergio Casanovas, another victim of the gravel traps. Gravel traps, they are a wonderful thing in real life, keeping the cars, for the most part, from hitting a wall so hard, especially when they're soaked. But in simulation racing, not so much. Sergio Casanovas leaves the game with engine failure, so both the Casanovas brothers are out of this race. Disappointing result for them as well. That leaves us just 10 cars left in this race. Of those, 7 of them are on the lead lap, and the other 3 are at least 1 lap behind. Cantagallo pulls off to the side. It's Chris Hackberg. Gap is closing slowly but surely. Ryan Walker is 1.595 seconds back of the leader, Chris Hack. So we are going to have a shootout at the end of this event. As the laps wind down, 36 laps are complete. In the meantime, I gotta give myself a self-plug. New graphic down at the bottom. Facebook and YouTube page going. I would appreciate it greatly if you give me some likes and some subscriptions. It's one way to build the Race2Play community, is to get awareness out that we are out here racing for real cash. $100 up for grabs overall in the season standings. Half to the driver, half to the teams. And Cantagallo goes to the pits. One way to increase the prize money, I would think, is to build awareness of the series. More spectators watching it means more ways of getting famous. And Andre Martin's DNFs. What happened there? Back in time, space time, all is well. Fast forward. Sound like an F-Zero car. And he loses it. Oh, he knocks the front wing off and parks it. So it looks like Andre Martins is going to finish around 10th. He's got to collect a point, but wow, surprisingly, this track is taking a lot of victims. This particular layout is based off of the ISI stock Northamptonshire track, but modified by a different group to include the new layout. And it looks like they left all of the old bumps in the track, which makes it a very, very difficult place to drive, it seems. So right now, the Battle of Patrician has taken a lot of cars out of this one. But now I'm counting... Let me get my count right. Let's see, we got Andre Martin's out. Sergio Casanovas has 2, Darren Adams 3, Tristan 4, Nuno 5, Steve Taylor 6, Mark Johnson 7, Jose Casanovas 8, Kevin Ransom 9, so half the field! 18 cars started this event and already half are out! That is just pretty insane. Chris Hack at the moment sets personal best, minute 33.311. Ryan Walker, minute 33.059 personal best last lap. The gap is coming down slowly but surely. It is now 1.597 seconds. Looking to close the race out with a bang. Hopefully nobody goes flying off of the grandstands, because I mean that's the only thing else that could be out top at the moment by people. What is it? People hitting tire barriers and getting stuck in the sand. My goodness gracious. Just 9 cars left in this event. 5 on the lead lap. 4 at least 1 lap down. Have to admit, this has been an insane event so far. Where is Chris Hack in relation to Ryan Walker? He's right there, where his name is. Barely visible. 1.5 seconds in between them. You can see him. In comparison, if you were to look at the rear mirror of Chris Hack, you would see that. And Tim Brook has actually managed to take a good bit of chunk out of him. He's down into the minute 32s, actually has a personal best of minute 32 flat. He's just fine. So much for that idea. I thought he was Tim Brook was catching up, but he just did a self-spin that allows nobody really to catch up to him. He's off his own little time code. The gap has suddenly increased first to second to him, 1.8 seconds. What happened here? Chris Hack just ran a personal best. Chris Hack has reset personal best the last 4 laps. Started at a .491, then a .352, then a .311, then a .210. So it's just a little duel back and forth. Who can call a little bit of time here and take a little time back and push, give it a little away and take a little back. Action fast and furious. So with Tim Brook's little self-spin, that drops him down 21 seconds. No harm, no foul, just probably flat lost it under braking. And they're really close to each other on the track. Although they did edit this one corner, there used to be some pretty nasty bumps on the inside. They got rid of those, thankfully. And they still have the front stretch grid, that old front stretch grid painted. That's confusing. Anyways. Gap still pretty consistent at the moment. They're down into the second sector. Somewhere around here in the tunnel straight is the start line for Sector 3 right there. Gap time at the moment, 1.5 seconds, so very consistent gap closing. They give a little time and take a little back. Both these guys. It is if they don't need another pit stop, it's going to come down to these two guys. If they do need another pit stop, oh, there we go. There's the answer to the question. Ryan Walker just comes into the pits right now. With 40 laps complete, he's going to have 12 laps on this last stint. So now the question becomes, does Chris Hack need one more stop to make it through to the end on tires? That'll be the thing. Let's see where Ryan Walker slots out. It just comes off pit road now. Gotta wait for him to come through sector 2 timing line. Which Chris Hack just passes right there. Here we are at the gap. 13 seconds flat. So basically, Ryan Walker has given up 12 seconds, well, 11 and a half actually, on Chris Hack in order to make his last pit stop. So now the question is going to become, will Chris Hack need to make it to the pits for his one last stop? This now puts Tim Brook in a position to possibly steal something. If these guys screw up in the least bit, he's going to be right there to pounce. Doesn't need to come in that time. Gap is already down to 12.6 seconds. Last lap. Let's watch this timer right now. Minute 33.319. He actually set a personal best just a moment ago with a 33 flat. Ryan Walker coming off the pits just ran a 32.6. He is closing with those good tires. We all Tim Brook in third. Still 19 seconds back. Still hanging out there. Let's take a look real quick through the running order. Chris Hack leads. 12-second gap. I could double check to make sure he wasn't about to come off the pit road. Ryan Walker second. 12 seconds back. Closing Tim Brook. What was I saying about him possibly have a chance to steal this? He gets out of the pit outlet okay, actually. He is not going to lose position, but that's his second self-spin in possibly as many laps. That's not good. Mark Dowling, fourth. Minute back. David Carney back here in 5th place. Those 5 cars are on the lead lap. George Pohl, first car, 1 lap down, 6th. Cantagallo doing very well for his first run at 7th. Ryan Farley, 8th. Anthony James, 1 car, 2 laps down. Come back to the leader, Chris Hack. Skips by pit road again. So we're on lap 43, about to complete it. That's going to be the question. Is when will Chris Hack come to pit? If he pits. Ryan Walker, minute 31.989. First car I've seen down into there. So obviously Chris Hack is losing time to Ryan Walker. So he has to hope. He's been running consistently in the 33 bracket. So Chris Hack is definitely on an enduro run. Steve Taylor is still in-game and in-channel with Chris Hack at the moment, possibly mentoring him for this run. Meanwhile, Ryan Walker has his head speakers muted in TeamSpeak. He is full-on concentration mode. And his teammates right behind him. Second and third on track. Gap is now down to 10.6 seconds. So it's with about 8 laps to go coming around now. There is a real possibility that if Chris Hack he needs to pit, then he's going to come out in second on this run. He just now ran a minute 32.902 compared to Ryan Walker, who is also at a minute 32, but a minute 32 flat. So we may be seeing a case of the tire change has stabilized. Maybe Ryan Walker has used up that set already. As pretty much from here on out, Ryan Walker is going to need to take a second out of Chris Hack's time every single lap to be in a position. And then, will he have enough laps to do anything with him? Top gear, quickly topping out at 184 miles an hour down that long straight. The gap is down to 9.8 seconds, and Chris Hack stays out one more lap. So basically, that is what we're looking at. What? Okay, let's take a look at what Chris Hack. The last lap was a minute 32.828. Ryan Walker ran a minute 32.109. So 7/10 out of that one. That's not gonna cut it. That is the main rule we're looking at. Everybody else is pretty scattered about, although Tim Brook is falling into the clutches of Mark Dowling, so podium may not be out of the question for Dowling. Let's take a look. They can't see each other quite yet. They're about 2.5 seconds apart. Chris Hack just ran a personal best, minute 32.828. Ryan Walker, gap is down to 8.9 seconds. Getting close to the end. Currently on lap 46 of this 52-lap event. Hack rolls around to the front stretch and completes lap 46. That last lap was a minute 32.905, just a 10th off. And the gap down to 8.5 seconds because Ryan Walker just ran a minute 31.892. You see right there, that is the fastest lap of the race so far. You are looking at Ryan Walker doing his darndest to try to get up there because it obviously looks like Chris Hack, unless he's fooling us all right now, I wanted to say Chris Hack may not need to come back in. Nothing's changed elsewhere on the track. This is the best spot for a fight. I'll let you know if Tim Brook and Mark Dowling start getting at it. That gap seems to have stabilized at about 3 seconds. And he stays out another lap. I want that little graphic to come back up. It says how many stops Chris Hack's done. I want that to come back up. Now would be a really good time for that. That's actually a pretty cool one. Gap right now, 7.6 seconds between Walker and Hack. That last lap for Walker, a minute 31.861, basically resets the fast lap, but just by a couple of hundreds. Chris Hack alternatively, just ran 1:30. There we go. Chris Hack, one pit stop. There it is. He is doing it all in one stop. So far, so good. 1:32.822. Let's take a look. Take a look at Chris Hack's time to see where that one stop came from. It looked like he came on lap 23, I wanted to say. In the meantime, Ryan Walker has had to take a couple of stops, and that has proven to be the key thing. Tim Brook, just for comparison, is running 1:32.423s. He is losing time quickly. Stabilized with Dowling at 1:33 last lap. Chris Hack again stays out. Completes lap 48. 4 laps to go. The gap is down to 6.9 seconds. 1:31.864 for Ryan Walker. Very, very consistently quick. But the last lap for Chris Hack, 1:32.756. Nearly a second is being eaten every lap. But Ryan Walker needs to get at least 1.4 seconds each lap to be able to get to the rear gearbox of Chris Hack and have at least a couple of corners to do something with it. Actually, the gap's now just suddenly increased in Sector 1. Tim Brook as well with these two. He can actually... No, that's a lap car. Ben Farley currently 7th. 1 lap down. Slight hiccup there. I'm sorry. Chris Hack just through the Sector 2 timing gap. The gap is now down to 6.6 seconds through Sector 2 of this lap. They are going to be very close to each other when it gets down to it. There's a lap car in front of Chris Hack. Who is that? That is David Carney. Out there in front. This lap. 1:32.778. Gap is down to 6.3 seconds. 1:32.429. That's Ryan Walker slowing down. Possibly realizing that he may not be able to get to him. And at the moment, you don't want to hope for a mistake, because usually if you start hoping for a mistake, you happen to be the one that makes it. Changing anywhere around the track. Everybody's still running in order. Gap is down to 6.1 seconds through Sector 1. And now down to 5.1 through Sector 2. Coming around to complete lap number 50. 2 laps to go. Let's see what the gap is now. 4.6 seconds. Quick comparison of the times. 1:33.097 for Chris Hack. Tires are starting to fall off for him. In comparison, Ryan Walker, 1:31.357. Fastest lap of the race. Right now. There is still a chance Chris Hack will be able to hang on. Ryan Walker is not going down without a fight. Carney goes wide. Front, that'll give you a heart attack. Seeing a car go wide in front. Gap is down 4.8 seconds. Into the Sector 2 area. Timeline starting Sector 3. 3.8 seconds. I don't think Ryan Walker is going to be able to catch Chris Hack, but he is not going without a whimper. He's actually roaring right now. Whoa! And David Carney spun in front of Chris Hack. That is going to mess things up. White flag. Gap is down to 3.5 seconds. It probably stunted Ryan Walker just as much. Minute 32.49 second for Ryan Walker, but Chris Hack ran a minute 33.561. The tires are starting to go away. Again, I don't think he can quite do it, but there's a chance he could. Again, we see Chris Hack only making that one stop. That is going to be the difference, is the pit strategy for these two cars. Gap is down to 3 seconds flat. Any bobble by Chris Hack and Ryan Walker is right there. They can see each other on the straight. Handful of corners to go. Drew Beckett's. One last time. Onto the hangar straight. Sector 2 timing line. The gap. 2 seconds flat. He took out a second in that sector. Chris Hack hanging on for dear life. They could see each other. Handful of quarters to go. I don't think he's going to get there in time. Chris Hack, couple more corners. One-stop strategy is the result of victory. Chris Hack wins the British Grand Prix with consistency and speed. Ryan Walker set a minute 31.672. Ooh, they got David. And everybody's doing donuts. Everybody loves the donuts. So pretty much, after Ryan Walker's last pit stop, he was 13 seconds back. He managed to chop it down to 1.2 seconds. One little bobble in a day. Because last lap Chris Hack did was a minute 34 flat. I mean, he literally coasted to the finish line. And Ryan Walker landed a minute 31. I mean, he knocked out 3 seconds in that last lap. He was trying his darndest. So now all of the celebratory finishes. Cantagallo, last car to finish. Wait for him to finish. Coast sit in. And that completes the session. Alright, door is open to the press box. So we will get some post-race interviews, hopefully, from everybody that participated. Switch over to... Which one do I want to switch to? I want to switch to... No, I don't want that. We'll wait for everybody to come into the pits, and then I'll make an announcement in chat. We'll go to let them do that. So in the meantime, I believe we learned quite a bit this afternoon. A lot of guys had a lot of spills out there today. Main stories coming out of that event. A lot of guys. And actually, I think I will check up in chat. Let me switch around my TeamSpeak key real quick to voice activation. And there we go. I'm transmitting. So here we go. I'm gonna dive bomb out of the chat. And here we go, checking in. Hopefully we don't hear any ba-ba-da.
8 times.
Catch on checking in.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey guys, live here on RGC1. I figured y'all would be chatting post-race, so just thought I'd sneak in. So, how's it going, guys?
Pretty good, sir.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Pretty hard fought fight there at the end between you, Chris, and Ryan. What was let's start with Chris. What was your thought process going through that that last run after Ryan made his pit stop?
Well, I knew my tyres would last to the end, so I was just sort of managing that, and then I was quite happy with how he was catching me. I thought he wasn't going to quite get there, and I didn't want to push any harder and loop it and give him an easy 5 seconds or so back on me, so I was just trying to not make any silly mistakes, really.
Yeah, it looked like for the most part that he was able to take out a second a lap. I noticed while in TeamSpeak that Steve was still in channel with you. Was he giving you any guidance as you were running through the field?
Yeah, he sort of kept giving me little updates, pep talks, and that's my first F1 podium, let alone win, so I was quite nervous at the end.
And a very good result it is on a very crazy afternoon. Well done, Chris. Now let's turn it over to Ryan Walker. Finished second this afternoon. Seemed you were on a two-tire strategy. Two-tire stop. I cannot speak English anymore, it seems. Proper English, anyway. So just take us through your afternoon, how you felt through the day.
Well, my plan at first was to do a one stop on the medium tyres. Then I was checking the tyres throughout the race, every lap, and checking how the tyre wear was. Then I figured out that the tyre wear was so bad that I wouldn't make it on one stop, so I decided to switch to 2 stops and see how I would go, and it seemed to work. And near the end I was catching Chris by a second, I think. I can't remember, but second place, I'm happy with that.
Yep, second place in a very crazy afternoon is a very good result. And you were giving us a pretty good entertaining show. You reset the fastest lap of the race several times throughout that run in a row even. So very good run, I would think.
I also have to say good race with Chris as well, fair and clean, and look forward to more races with you in the future.
Yeah, that was brilliant early on.
Very cool. And we also have a couple other guys here in the channel with us, Steve Taylor and Darren Adams. Unfortunately, y'all had some unfortunate incidences come about, so I'll just open the mic to y'all in general about what y'all thought about today, either during your race or when you then unfortunately fell out to become spectators.
You want to go first, Steve?
No, Darren, you take it away, mate.
Well, mine was a roller coaster. I had a terrible qualifying, then absolutely brilliant start from 10th up to the lead of the race. Couldn't believe it when I passed Tristan in the sand. That was a gift from nowhere. I did not expect. And my strategy was a 2-stop on softs, and it was working well. I had a 13-second lead. I think the pit stop, Chris can probably correct me, was it around about 12 seconds, Chris?
It was pretty much bang on, yeah.
Yeah, so I thought at that point, within a couple of laps, I would have been pitting and coming out very close to Chris, hopefully just in front of him, so that he couldn't, hold me up at all on the final stint. And then it should have been fine, but one little lapse of concentration, ran a little bit wide on an exit, got a little bit high onto a curb, bottomed out, spun, wall, gravel, engine blown. End of day. Very upset.
Yeah, I don't blame you, but you're not the only guy that went out. I've noticed at least 4 of the 5 guys that went out due to self-crashes ended up getting, not because of the crash itself, but because they got caught in that deep gravel, and it just, no matter what they tried to do, it just got them stuck, and it ultimately blew the motor.
If I'd been more patient, I think I could have got it out safely, but I was so annoyed with myself and in a totally bad frame of mind at that time, and I was just hammering the throttle, and I ended up blowing my engine, so it's totally my own fault. It could have got out of there, probably.
Yeah, just heat of the moment. It happens, man. So hopefully reload and come back next week, or 2 weeks from now, I should say.
Yeah, the first part of the race up to them was absolutely brilliant, excellent, great racing all round.
There was a really good battle, actually, wasn't there? About 5 of us in a row.
Yeah. Yeah, I gave you a little wiggle after we got past Mark.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, good times all around up until that nasty beach. Sand should really stay on the beach, I think. That's my personal opinion. So anyways... Yep. You want to add anything, Steve, real quick?
No, nothing more to say. The racing was good while it lasted, as Darren said. And we'll see you all in Germany.
Oh yes, that is the next race of the week. So I believe that's the Nürburgring. So we should have a entertaining time at a stock ISI circuit. So with that, any final parting words you gentlemen would like to pass on to the audience before we get out of here?
I'd just like to give a shout out of thanks to Steve, actually. A lot of practice together all week, got us set up quite nicely, and I didn't expect to win, but I'm delighted, and I don't think I would have got that without Steve, so thank you.
I'm sure you would have done it all hands down by yourself, Chris. You did a fantastic race, very, very consistent, and very mature race. Even when Ryan was catching Chris toward the end there, you know, you need a cool head to bring it home, and you know, Ryan was really knocking it sometimes a second off in a sector towards the closing laps. So well done, Chris.
Thank you.
Alright, and with that, we're just about done here. So for the Race2Play staff, Tim MacArthur, Connor McCarroll, Steve Taylor, who also happens to be in the men around here, for the race winner, Chris Hack, Ryan Walker second place, and Tim Brook in third, and everybody else that joined us in the race. My name is Lynn Ketchler. Thank you all for watching on RGC1. We'll hope to see you in 2 weeks at the British, or no, we just left British. We just left Britain. We're going to Germany next week. We'll see you later.